It is raining. The sky is cloudy. Carla goes to the market. She looks at the umbrellas. She likes a red umbrella. It is very smart. It costs $10. Carla is a student. She doesn't have much money. I can give you $7 for that umbrella, says Carla. Okay, young lady. This is your lucky day. Give me $7. The umbrella is yours, says the shopkeeper. This is my lucky day, says Carla. She holds the red umbrella above her head. The rain falls on the umbrella. Carla goes to a cake shop. She wants to buy some cakes. Her little brother loves cakes. She goes into the shop. She leaves her red umbrella near the door. It is quiet inside the shop. Carla chooses 3 small cakes. She talks to the shop assistant. In that time, a customer is leaving the shop. She is a young woman. She is holding a cake box. Carla is going to leave the shop. But where is her umbrella? There is one umbrella near the door. It is not a red umbrella. It is not Carla's umbrella. This umbrella is old and black. It has a pattern of yellow ducks. It is not smart. Carla takes the umbrella. This is not my lucky day, says Carla. Carla walks to the town square. A young man speaks to her. Hello. He smiles. Carla does not know this young man. She walks away quickly. The young man is following Carla. She walks into a crowd of people. The young man follows the black and yellow umbrella. Hello. Wait. Shouted the young man. Carla turns. She looks at the young man. She is angry. Go away. She says. The young man is sad. Marissa, I'm sorry. He says. I'm very late. I'm not Marissa. Carla shouts. You are not Marissa, says the young man. He points at the black umbrella with yellow ducks. That's her umbrella. Oh, says Carla. Who is Marissa? I don't know Marissa, says the young man. I'm going to meet her. We are going to have coffee. It is my cousin's idea. Marissa works with my cousin. I am not Marissa, says Carla again. My cousin has a photo of Marissa, says the young man. She's tall. You're tall too. Her hair is short and dark. Your hair is short and dark. In the photo, she has an umbrella. It's a black umbrella with yellow ducks. You have a black umbrella with yellow ducks, says the young man. Carla looks up at the old umbrella. Marissa is a thief, she thinks. She has my new red umbrella. Carla is angry again. Please don't be angry, says the young man. He looks at his watch. It's 3 o'clock. Marissa goes to work at 2:30. I can't meet her now. It's too late. He smiles at Carla. Let's have a coffee together, he says. Carla thinks for a moment. Okay, she says. Let's go to my aunt's cafe. The young man smiles again. That will be great. He says. My name is Paul. I'm a law student, 3rd year. I'm Carla, Ella my student too. I'm studying science. Carla sits in the cafe with Paul. They drink coffee. They talk, they laugh and talk. Suddenly Carla jumps up. Oh no, she says. It's late. I must go home. I must study. I'm going to have an exam tomorrow. Good luck. Will you meet me again? Asked the young man. Yes, answered Carla. That will be nice, says the young man. It is almost dark. The town square is quiet. Carla sees a tall young woman. The young woman has short dark hair. She has a smart umbrella. It is a red umbrella. The young woman is Marissa. Marissa sees the old black umbrella with yellow ducks. She is worried. Suddenly her face is red. "Don't worry," says Carla. "Keep my red umbrella. I like this umbrella. It's a lucky umbrella. This is my lucky day." The rain falls on the umbrellas. Carla smiles. Then she runs home. English 5-Day Story. The voiceover in this video is given by English 5 Days. Lost love. These things happened to me nearly 10 years ago. I lived in a city, but the city was hot in summer. I wanted to see the country. I wanted to walk in the woods and see green trees. I had a little red car and I had a map too. I drove all night out into the country. I was happy in my car. We had a very good summer that year. The country was very pretty in the early morning. The sun was hot and the sky was blue. I heard the birds in the trees and then my car stopped. Suddenly, what's wrong? I thought, oh dear, I haven't got any petrol. Now I'll have to walk. I'll have to find a town and buy some petrol. But where am I? I looked at the map. I wasn't near a town. I was lost in the country. And then I saw the girl. She walked down the road with flowers in her hand. She wore a long dress and her hair was long too. It was long and black and it shone in the sun. She was very pretty. I wanted to speak to her. So I got out of the car. "Hello?" I said. "I'm lost. Where am I?" She looked afraid. So I spoke quietly. "I haven't got any petrol." I said. "Where can I find some?" Her blue eyes looked at me and she smiled. She's a very pretty girl. Thought. "I do not know," she said. "Come with me to the village. Perhaps we can help you." I went with her happily and we walked a long way. There isn't a village on the map, I thought. Perhaps it's a very small village. There was a village and it was old and pretty. The houses were black and white and very small. There were a lot of animals. The girl stopped at a house and smiled at me. "Come in, please," she said. I went in. The house was very clean. But it was strange, too. There was a fire and some food above it. I felt hungry then. That's strange, I thought. They cook their food over a wood fire. Perhaps they have no money. I met her father and mother and I liked them. They were nice people. But their clothes were strange. "Sit down," said the old man. "Are you thirsty after your walk?" He gave me a drink and I said, "Thank you." But the drink was strange, too. It was dark brown and very strong. I didn't understand, but I was happy there. I asked about petrol, but the old man didn't understand. "Petrol?" he asked. "What is that?" This is strange, I thought. Then I asked, "Do you walk everywhere?" The old man smiled. "Oh, no. We use horses," he said. Horses, I thought. Horses are very slow. Why don't they have cars? But I didn't say that to the old man. I felt happy there. I stayed all day and I ate dinner with them that evening. Then the girl and I went out into the garden. The girl's name was Mary. "This is nice," she said. "We like having visitors. We do not see many people here." We spoke happily. She was very beautiful. But after a time, she began to talk quietly and her face was sad. "Why are you sad?" I asked her. "I cannot tell you," she said. "You are only a visitor here. We have to say goodbye tonight. You have to go now." I didn't understand. I loved her. I knew that and I wanted to help her. Why did I have to go? But Mary said again in a sad voice, "You have to go. It is dangerous here. So I said, I'll go to the next town and find some petrol. Then I'll come back. She didn't speak. I love you, Mary. I said. And I'll come back to you. You won't stop me. She said goodbye to me at the door. Her face was very sad. And I was sad too. I didn't want to go. It was midnight. The night was very dark, but I walked and walked. I was very tired when I saw the lights of a town. I found some petrol. And then I asked the name of the village. But the man at the garage gave me a strange look. What village? He asked. I told him about the village. I told him about the old houses and the people with strange clothes. Again, he gave me a strange look. He thought. And then he said, there was a village there. But it isn't there now. There are stories about it. Strange stories. What do people say about it? I asked. He didn't want to tell me. But then he said, there was a big fire in the village. Everybody died. There aren't any people or houses there now. How did it happen? I asked. And why? Oliver Cromwell killed them. He said. He was angry with the villagers because they helped the king in the war. I couldn't speak. This isn't right, I thought. That war happened 350 years ago. Then I remembered the strange clothes, the long hair, the food over the fire and the old houses. And I remembered too about the horses. But I don't understand. I cried. I saw the people and the village. I spoke to some people there. The man looked quickly at me. And then he spoke. There is an interesting story about the village. For one day, every 10 years, it lives again. And only for one day. Then it goes away again for another 10 years. On that one day, you can find the village. But you have to leave before morning, or you will never leave. Can this be right? I thought. Perhaps it was. Mary said, you have to go. She loved me. But she said, we have to say goodbye. She was afraid for me. Now I understand, I thought. I went back to the village, but it wasn't there. I looked again and again. But I couldn't find it. I saw only flowers and trees. I heard only the sound of the birds and the wind. I was very sad. I sat down on the ground and cried. I will never forget that day. I remember Mary and I will always love her. Now I only have to wait 2 months. The village will come back again. On the right day, I will go back. I will find her again. My love with the long black hair. And this time, I will not leave before morning. I will stay with her. From San Francisco to London. When I was 36 years old, I worked in an office in San Francisco. I did my job well, and my future was promising. I was alone in the world, and I was happy. On Saturday afternoons, I didn't work. I sailed my little sailboat on San Francisco Bay. One Saturday afternoon, I sailed out too far. The strong afternoon wind pushed my sailboat out of the bay and into the Pacific Ocean. That night, when I had lost all hope, a small British brig saw me and took me on board. The brig was sailing to London. The voyage was long and stormy. I worked as a sailor to pay for my trip. When I arrived in London, my clothes were old and dirty. I had only $1 in my pocket. With this dollar, I ate and slept for the first 24 hours. During the next 24 hours, I didn't eat and I didn't sleep. At about 10 o'clock the following morning, I went to Portland Place. I saw a child walking past, holding a big pear. The child ate one small piece and then threw the pear onto the street. I stopped and looked at it. I was very hungry and I really wanted that pear. But every time I tried to get it, someone passed by and looked at me. I quickly turned in the other direction and waited for the person to pass by. I tried again and again to get that pair. But the same thing happened. I was desperate. I decided to get the pair and not to worry about the people who saw me. At that moment, a gentleman opened a window behind me and said, "Come in here, please." A well-dressed servant opened the door. He took me to a beautiful room. Here, two old gentlemen were sitting and discussing something important. Their breakfast was still on the table. I was very hungry and I stared at their breakfast. I want to tell the reader that the two gentlemen had made a bet several days before. I knew nothing about the bet until later. Let me tell you what happened. Part 2, an unusual bet. The two old gentlemen were brothers. For several days they argued about a very strange subject. They decided to end their argument with a bet, as the English usually do. The following was the subject of the bet. The Bank of England issued 2 banknotes of £1,000,000 each for a public transaction with a foreign country. England used one banknote and the other remained in the bank. At this point, Brother A said to Brother B, "If an honest and intelligent stranger arrives in London without a friend and without money, except for the £1,000,000 banknote, he will starve to death." Brother B answered, "No, I don't agree." Brother A said, "If he goes to the bank or anywhere else to change this big note, the police will put him in prison. Everyone will think he stole it." They continued arguing for days until Brother B said, "I'll bet £20,000 that the stranger will live for 30 days with the banknote and not go to prison." Brother A accepted the bet. He went to the bank and bought the £1,000,000 banknote. After, he returned home and prepared a letter. Then the two brothers sat by the window and waited for the right man for the bet. They saw a lot of honest faces go by, but they were not intelligent enough. Several faces were intelligent, but they were not honest. A lot of faces were honest and intelligent, but they were not poor enough. Other faces were honest, intelligent, and poor, but they were not strangers. When they saw me from the window, they thought I was the right man. They asked me questions and soon they knew my story. Finally, they told me I was the right man for the bet. I asked them to explain the bet. One of the gentlemen gave me an envelope. I wanted to open it, but he said, "No, don't open it now. Wait until you are in your hotel room. Then read it very carefully." I was confused, and I wanted to discuss the subject with them, but they didn't. I felt hurt because I was the subject of a joke. When I left their house, I looked for the pair on the street. It was gone. I was quite angry with those two gentlemen. Far from their house, I opened the envelope. I saw that there was money inside. I didn't stop to read their letter, I ran to the nearest eating place. I ate and ate and ate. At last, I took out the envelope with the money to pay for my meal. I looked at the banknote and almost fainted. It was a banknote worth $5 million. I was speechless. I stared at the banknote. The two gentlemen had made a big mistake. They probably wanted to give me a £1 banknote. I saw the owner of the eating place staring at the banknote too. We were both surprised. I did not know what to do or say, so I simply gave him the note and said, "Give me the change, please." The owner apologized 1,000 times. "I'm very sorry, but I can't change this banknote, sir. I don't have any other money. Please change this note." The owner then said, "You can pay for this food whenever you want, sir. I understand that you are a very rich gentleman. You like playing jokes on people by dressing like a poor man. You can come here and eat all you want, whenever you want. You can pay me when you want." Part 3, the letter. When I left the eating place, I hurried to the house of the two gentlemen. I wanted to correct the mistake they had made. I was very nervous. When I arrived, the same servant opened the door. I asked for the two gentlemen. "They are gone," the servant said. "Gone, gone where?" "Oh, on a journey." "But where did they go?" To the continent, I think. The continent? Yes, sir. When will they return? In a month? A month? Oh, this is awful. How can I talk to them? It's extremely important. I can't help you. I don't know where they are, sir. Then I must see a member of the family. All the family are away. They're in Egypt and India, I think. Before leaving, the two gentlemen made an enormous mistake. They will certainly return home tonight. Tell them that I came here to correct the mistake. I'll return tomorrow. I'll tell them if I see them, but I won't see them. Sir, you must not worry because everything is all right. They will be here on time, and they will see you then. Goodbye. I was confused. My head was in a fog. I did not understand what the servant told me. The letter. I remembered the letter. This is what it said. You are an intelligent and honest man. You are also poor and a stranger. In this envelope, you will find some money. It is yours only for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, return to this house. I have a bet on you. If I win this bet, you can have any job with any salary that you want. There were no signature, no address, no date on the letter. How strange. I didn't know what to think. I went to a park, sat down, and thought about what to do. After an hour, I reached the decision that follows. The two old gentlemen are playing a game that I don't understand. They are betting on me. But at that time, I didn't know anything about the details of the bet. If I go to the Bank of England to return the banknote, the bank will ask me lots of questions. If I tell the truth, no one will believe me. They will put me in an asylum. If I tell a lie, the police will put me in prison. I can't even give it to anyone because no honest person will want it. I can do only one thing. I must keep the bill for a whole month, and I must not lose it. If I help the old man to win his bet, he'll give me the job I want. The idea of an important job with a big salary made me happy. With this exciting idea in mind, I began walking down the streets of London. Part 4, at the tailor's. Every time I passed in front of a tailor's, I wanted to enter and buy some new clothes. But I had no money to pay for them. The £1 million banknote in my pocket was useless. I passed in front of the same tailor's 6 times. At last, I entered. I quietly asked if they had an old, unattractive suit that no one wanted to buy. The man I spoke to nodded his head, but he didn't speak. Then another man looked at me and nodded his head. I went to him, and he said, "One moment, please." After some time, he took me to a back room. He looked at several ugly suits that no one wanted. He chose the worst for me. I really wanted a suit, so I said nothing. It was time to pay. "Can you wait a few days for the money? I haven't got any small change with me." The man said, "Oh, you haven't? Well, I thought gentlemen like you carried large change." "My friend," I replied, "you can't judge a stranger by the clothes he wears. I can pay for this suit. But, can you change a large banknote?" "Oh, of course we can change a large banknote," he said, coldly. I gave him the banknote. He received it with a smile. A big smile that covered his face. When he read the banknote, his smile disappeared. The owner of the shop came over and asked me, "What's the trouble?" "There isn't any trouble. I'm waiting for my change." Come. Give him his change, Todd, quickly." Todd answered. "It's easy to say, but look at the banknote." The owner looked at the banknote. Then he looked at my package with the ugly suit. "Todd," he shouted, "you're stupid. How can you sell this unattractive suit to a millionaire? Todd, you can't see the difference between a millionaire and a poor man." "I apologize, sir," the owner continued. "Please take off those things you are wearing and throw them in the fire." Put on this fine shirt and this handsome suit. It's perfect for you. Simple, but elegant. I told him I was very happy with the new suit. Oh, wait until you see what we can make for you in your size. Todd, bring a pen and a book. Let me measure your leg, your arm. I didn't have a moment to speak. The owner measured me. Then he ordered his tailors to make me morning suits, evening suits, shirts, coats and other things. But, my dear sir, I said, I can order all these things only if you change my banknote. Or, if you can wait a while before I pay you. Wait a while. I'll wait forever. That's the word. Todd, send these things to the gentleman's address. Let the lesson port and customers wait. What's your address, sir? I'm changing my home. I'll come back and give why.